Right, Nish Sharma, Rutland Square Drinks. He's with us. He's come all the way from Edinburgh. Hello, welcome.
Hi, Pav. Thank you so much.
That's all right. How was the journey?
Oh, long.
You made it though. That's the main thing.
I did indeed. Yes, it was long and exhausting, but I'm very excited to be here. Thanks to you for having me. So yeah, I'm looking forward.
So we're gonna go straight into it, Nish. You've come all the way from Edinburgh. You're in the drinks industry. So Rutland Square. How did it all start? Give us the backstory. I know you're doing a lot in the future and you're doing a lot today, but explain to me or explain to the listeners, how did it all start?
So to give listeners context about, I have not been in the drinks industry forever.
Okay.
But my family goes back into the business of spirits for over 100 years. So I was one of those black sheeps in the family who decided to go into working and finding my own journey.
Okay.
So I migrated over to Scotland almost 20 years ago,
right,
as a student, and came from India looking for something exciting with no direction whatsoever.
So you ended up in Scotland to look for something exciting?
I know. Tell me about it. One of all the places in the world, I picked Glasgow.
Yeah.
Started my journey as a dishwasher.
Right.
Wiping tables, what I progressed to.
And how old are you at this point?
Oh, I think I turned 19 in Glasgow.
Right, okay.
So I came 18 years old. Yeah, young boy, finished my hires in school and just jumped on my first international flight ever. Came to Scotland and started my life as a dishwasher, and then 4 years working, cleaning tables, wiping, doing odd jobs.
Yeah.
And it just came a pivotal moment. I wanted to do a desk job.
Okay.
And I decided to hang my apron and find myself a job in Sheila's Wheels, which is insurance company.
Oh yeah, I remember those. They used to advertise everywhere, right?
Yeah, they did.
Okay.
So I was selling insurance. I didn't find that job ethical for myself because it's focused around, their business model was focused around women that have come out of a relationship, upsell them things they don't need.
Okay.
Because they're going through this emotional journey of a failed relationship, and they're trying to find their own insurance, setting up their own life while they have been maybe dependent, or their partners have been helping them with their insurances, and we would upsell products which they wouldn't need.
Or aware of.
Or aware of.
Oh yeah.
Well, we would tell them, but you know, like those small print, have this add-on legal cover, it'll save your limbs, it'll save your kidneys. So I did that for 6 to 8 months, and then I thought, I need a real job.
Yeah.
So I was dating this woman back then, this was my wife now, and she was in bank. And I asked her, what does it take to be in a bank? And she said, you need a degree. And I was a college dropout.
Yeah.
And
that wasn't happening then, was it?
Well, it did happen.
Oh, it did?
It did, yeah. So I took up the challenge. She helped me. So all the credit to her. She created a CV. I never knew what CV was. So she helped create a CV for me, and I started applying for jobs. And I think I almost went through 60 interviews. And I ended up working for Aegon in Edinburgh.
So let me go back. Back in the day then in Edinburgh when you were there, what was the job market? I mean, you say you did a lot of CVs, but was it a buoyant market? Was it hard to get jobs, or what sort of environment was it?
So early stage jobs were okay to find.
Okay, so starting up the bottom of the ladder sort of thing.
Absolutely. Yeah, back office, call center, anything that didn't need any skills. They were tough to get in because they were competitive and you had to possess certain skills.
Yep.
I've always been a good seller. I've always been a chatterbox, what I have been referred to. So I managed to sell myself.
Yep.
But always had this hunger about, what does my manager do? I want to position myself in his shoes.
Yep.
I love that challenge of not being told how to do things. And I want to tell people how to do things. And started my job in Aegon. So this is the point I left the whole Sheila's Wheels restaurant journey, left Glasgow, a bit of a safety net in Glasgow because I had my uncle who was looking after me and I was staying with him. And I pushed myself to Edinburgh, which is more expensive compared to Glasgow.
How much more expensive is it?
Very expensive.
Really?
Yes.
Is it London money? Is it like...
Yes.
It is it?
Absolutely. If you have to rent a one-bedroom apartment in Glasgow city centre, it's going to cost you an arm and a leg. Really? Where in Glasgow, same apartment will cost you, well, you can get a 3-bedroom house.
Okay, so that gives you context of the difference in price.
Yes. So I haven't rented for a while now, so I don't know what the prices are.
Yeah.
But back then it was expensive for a young individual like myself
Yeah.
who didn't had any obligations whatsoever and had to afford myself. And I was finding a one-bedroom studio apartment very expensive.
Yeah.
So I move across to Edinburgh, find myself a job in Aegon, spend a year there. I was helping people with their pension money and getting their drawdowns and whatsoever. But I always had this itch to do what my partner was doing then, and she was almost in investment banking / middle office. So I would train myself on Google. I would pick up people's CV
Yeah.
in that position. I will read through, I will cram through what they do, and I'll start giving interviews, and I'll fail until I'll grasp what do I need to position myself in those shoes. And somehow I landed in one job, another job, and I came to where she was.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So this was a proper full-time, permanent position in a bank with Lloyd's Bank, Lloyd's of London,
Okay.
in Edinburgh, and then my career went off. I became a day rate contractor. Went working for BlackRock. Did a massive project there. We did a fund project with the Emirates Fund, pension fund, between the New York office and Edinburgh office. We created the whole fund. At that point, it was around 1.3 billion. Now it sits around market cap of 30 billion.
Jeez.
I was part of the small team there. Worked in projects as project manager, program director, and then came a point where I had enough. I had a very beautiful car. So I literally came from a second-hand 500-pound Rover, which literally gave up.
I remember those cars.
7 months of buying it. It just gave up in the middle of the road, to buying a brand new SVR. So the transformation was huge. It was aspirational, and I lived the whole journey. And it just taught me so much. I came a point I said, okay, I had enough of the journey. I was earning good, but I think I had materialistically achieved what I wanted to, and I wanted more from my life. And this is the point when my grandmother passes away in India.
Okay.
So this is after good all 7-8 years of living, but more than that, 10 years of living in Scotland. I fly back to India. We had a brand new baby in the house. This is the point. I'm married now. I have a kid, and my grandmother passes away, and I go back to India. This is where I'm exposed to the Hindu cremation.
Yep.
Never had a funeral in the house before. I don't know what they do, and I've been living in the Western world. So I had limited knowledge. We wear black here and they wear white there.
Yep.
So I was exposed to there was a lot happening.
Yep.
And in that moment, I realized it's all going to come to an end. It just doesn't matter.
Is that what would you say that was your epiphany? Was that your change in life moment?
Well, when they set fire to her body, and in half an hour, everything around me changed. I was very close to her. She raised me.
Right.
So I almost lost an anchor in my life. And I looked around, and people started discussing politics. They were talking about their day-to-day challenges. Nobody was focused on what's happening, other than her husband and my father and his brother and myself. Everybody else were consumed in their own life. And I realized this just doesn't make sense. We create all these blockers in our minds, and we think we need to do this to be here and do this to be there. It's just a game. It unlocked something in me, and I felt, screw it. If I fail, I fail. I don't care.
Okay. And at that point, you decide to come back?
Well, I spent 15 days with my grandfather.
Right.
He was mourning his wife. He was depressed. And I was sad, and I was trying to cope with my loss. And we would sit down together in the evening when everything would settle, and we would chat. We would, crack open a bottle of whiskey and have a chat, which I never did with my grandfather.
But some people may not know this, and people that are listening in, or maybe they'll listen afterwards. Alcohol isn't allowed everywhere in India, is it?
No.
Right. So there's certain parts of India where it's banned or stroke illegal.
Yes.
It's illegal, is it?
Well, in dry states such as Gujarat, Uttar Pradesh, which are considered as dry states, it's not illegal, but you need certain permits to drink. So it's not easily accessible to the citizens or the people of that state. you need to present a certain, for example, if you're a foreign national traveling into the state and you show your passport and they give you a special permit, or if you're staying in a 5-star hotel where they have licenses where you can consume. But India being India, everything has a way around. So
but on the whole, you can't, it's not something you can just go, there's no local pub or
in these states.
In these states, it's very restricted.
Yeah, but
off the within reason.
Out of 30 states, 28 states you can.
Yeah.
There are a handful of states where you cannot, which Gujarat comes under.
Yeah.
And I was in Assam, which is one of the biggest consumer of alcohol as a state.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, even in Indian culture and for the wider listeners, it's not common for a grandfather and a grandson to sit down and drink together.
On that note, I'm going to play some adverts and then we're going to talk about the evolution or revolution or the whole thing and how it started in India. Very fascinating, Nish, very fascinating. So just to put you into the picture, I'm talking to Nish from Rutland Drinks, and we've got to the point where he's had a family death. We're in India, you're talking to your granddad and you're having a drink with him, which is a bit of a taboo in the first place.
Yes.
The elders don't drink with the youngers, so to speak.
Commonly, yes, in Indian culture.
Yeah.
And on a large context, they don't.
Yeah.
It depends from which part of India you come from. In our case, we were a bit of a hybrid family.
Yeah.
We originate from Amritsar, Punjab, which is the northwest, which is a bit of an extreme state. Punjabis are a bit loud, a bit flamboyant, and they do a lot of things together.
Yeah.
But there's still a thing between drinking with elders is forbidden.
Yeah.
Unless they let you in their circle, which happens very late in the stage of your evolution journey.
Yeah.
But where we were living, which is the northeast Assam, where we were migrants to, and it doesn't happen there at all.
Okay.
Conservative people, more focused on education and literacy rather than flamboyance and loudness. Humble people, and they, it's almost like Spain. They operate till 2 p.m. and then they take a nap till 4 and they go back.
Siesta in the afternoon, eh?
Yes, it is.
Do you have a siesta now, though?
They do, in Northeast, they do.
Do you now? Not in Edinburgh.
No, not in Edinburgh.
I don't have time.
No, not at all. And it's freezing out there. So yeah, what was happening was an evolution in a relationship in itself. I had started cracking a bottle and enjoying a drink or two with my dad, but it had not went up to my grandfather.
Yeah.
So this is the first time where he is in a state of mourning and he's sitting there and feeling depressed. His love of his life is gone, and he's almost spent his entire existence with this woman. And he's sharing a drink, and he shares his life journey, which was very interesting. And his father, my great grandfather, who was the founder of everything who we are, because that's the journey of life we can track to.
Yeah.
What happened before him, we have no idea. So my great grandfather migrated from northwest to northeast. 6 foot tall, Punjabi lad, could speak English, had done his matriculation, which is your hires. And he finished his school. By that point, he was married with 3 children. And he didn't want it to be in his father's farming business and flour mill business. And his father was a landlord. So he decided to leave the extreme northwest, which is near the Pakistan border, and travels using bullock carts, steam rail, no planes, foot, and hitchhiked all the way to the northeast next to the China border.
Okay.
It's just bonkers. Why would you go from 2 extreme ends?
Yeah.
But he did that. I think he had an itchy foot. He wanted to do more from his life. So he lands to this unknown state and he finds himself a job with a Gora Saab, which is a white man in the British Army.
Yeah.
And he is a translator between the labor on the tea estate and the regime. And he meets a Scottish officer there, and they start to illegally blend whiskies. So the Scottish officer, his counterpart, will sneak a bottle of whiskey under his quota to his backyard. They will mix it in a drum of whiskey that they created, and then they would put it in unlabeled bottles, and they will sell it to the wider northwestern population living there, migrants who would consume a bit premium whiskey. not the country liquor. So they made some money. They made enough. When India and UK had their divorce, he bought the tea estate from his boss, and
He made enough money to do that.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's bootlegging whiskey.
Yeah. Wow.
He couldn't get an alcohol license because the country was going through huge change, and people with deep pockets would get the distillation license. So I learned about the story during this drinking sessions with my grandfather, and automatically realized alcohol is in my blood.
Yeah.
At
that point, literally, I should imagine.
Literally. After 2-3 glasses of whiskey and talking about whiskey, and I said, I live in the Mecca of spirits, which is Scotland.
Yeah.
We have rugged landscape and beauty and alcohol. That's it. There's nothing more we offer.
Yeah.
And there's a story that connects back and automatically felt relevance. And I came back after 2 weeks and I handed in my notice.
Just like that. Talk to the wife?
Well, yes, I did. And everybody thought I've lost it.
Yeah.
I was in a very well-paid day rate contract, massively paid day rate contract. I thought I had a lot of money because I came from nothing. And I thought I'm going to set up a whiskey distillery.
As you do.
Well, I have ADHD, so I have no balance. I'm on the extreme ends of both.
Okay.
So without any research or any understanding, I go out looking for a piece of land to build a whiskey distillery. And in that process, I realized it needs millions to do it.
Not thousands.
Not even hundreds of thousands or a million. Millions.
Wow.
So whiskey humbled me.
Right, okay. So at that point, dreams are shattered? Or on hold?
No, we pivoted.
Okay.
There's a thing with me, if something doesn't work, I'm very good at working around what's next. So gin was on the rise, easy to make, less capex, and alcohol was the foundation. I had to do something in alcohol. I had consumed gin, I understood the gin journey, and I thought, let's start with gin. So gin happened, one SKU, nothing else, no understanding of the market, no connections in the market. Literally banker going into spirits, and I failed. Spent 100 grand on branding of my own money, maxed out every single credit card I had, borrowed money, and spent 3 years creating the recipe because I had to do it a little better rather than just randomly doing it. Got some grasp of how things are and how it works, but no understanding of selling, how it sells. Licensing took a little while. So 2017, I started the journey. 2020, I logged my recipe. 2021, I take my product to market and I fail. I brutally fail. And took me 6 months to recover, and then went back into the market in 2022 and I failed again. And this is where I thought I have now 100 grand worth of stock lying in this random warehouse, which I can't afford. I moved all the stock into my house in the garage, and I was about to sell my house, and my wife said, no, I'm transferring the house over to my name. So that happened. This is when I've literally flat out cash-wise borrowed wherever I could, and I found one investor, which was my uncle. He was, was doing very well, and I pitched him the whole idea. Before going up to him, I didn't even have a business plan. But I learned through 2 failures, and I understood what the route to market should be and how this should be. And I started selling bottles, and I've created some traction.
Okay.
So he believed in the idea, and he backed me with his 100K. And I went back out in the market, and I failed again.
Oh, wow.
But this time I failed with bit more knowledge, but this was this was more over a strategic failure. This is where now I have point of sales.
So when you say fail, you say you've hit the wall a few times, but what is it? Is it the sales? Is it the structure? Is it not getting it in hands? What would you, if you were to just top line the failure, what would it be?
One man bandwagon.
Okay, trying to do everything.
Everything. And comes a point that there's only so many hours in a day. You're one man. You need to do your bookkeeping. You don't have an accountant. You need to do your stock taking, and you need to do everything. And it's a regulated industry. It needs to be regulated with HMRC. You just physically cannot do everything. So whatever money is left with, I started investing in teams. So I bring one person on board as part-time, and now he's doing the selling in markets, and I'm doing the selling in on-trade. And then we add another person, and now he's doing the on-trade and he's doing the markets where I'm looking at export. So slowly we started focusing on teams rather than me doing everything.
Okay.
And that is where the change happened. When I realized that when I multiply my efforts into multiple directions, that gives a faster return on investment. And then I had to switch gears, and I realized that if I go out and raise capital, because this industry needs a lot of capital, because your returns on investments are huge. So you're not just making and losing money, you're making money, but money is going back into the business. So that happened, and then my focus became tying up the business, understanding the structure, bringing in an operations director, getting a proper office space. Nothing fancy again, very rugged. We started focusing on becoming economy of scales rather than sourcing locally, which was my bottle prices went from £3.50 a raw material to 65 pence. So all those things started to happen where economics started to work, and then slowly we started to grow.
And at what point is this? Is this 2 years ago?
Yeah, okay. 2023 up till now. So within the past 3 years of properly working, we are now exporting to Canada, GCC, India, Europe, UK, and we are going into a few more countries.
And this is all the gin?
Gin and rum.
So when did rum come into it?
I think last year when I realized one SKU is not enough to scale, and gin was slowly declining. People, in the drink sector, there is every category has a moment. Whiskey is the only category which has
flavor of the time, so to speak.
Well, this social media,
trendy,
social media creates this FOMO. Now suddenly tequila is on the rise because people have this notion that tequila is healthier. It's alcohol.
It's not healthier.
Yeah, you can't.
It's got less calories, I've been told.
Well, alcohol in comparison has less calories. Like the only calories you're going to get in alcohol is sugar. If there is no artificial sugar or fructose or sucrose, there is no calories.
So actually, on that note, if you were a bit health conscious, what is the spirit or the drink to have?
Gin.
Okay.
Much leaner.
It is.
It's just juniper berries and neutral grain alcohol.
So gin rather than...
Not flavored gin. Just plain gin. Just London dry gin, or you can have our gin, which only has cardamom, cinnamon, star anise. It doesn't have any flavors, artificial flavors that will add on to those calories.
So tequila has been pitched out there saying it's like the healthiest thing since sliced bread.
Well, agave as a fruit, when you put it through fermentation, it goes through the cycle of of breaking down.
Yeah.
So sugars are released.
Right. So it's perception, not reality.
It's a social media thing.
Yeah, it is at the moment, and we find that it is a bit trendy, and the trends do spin.
Correct.
From everything. So you're now covering gin and rum.
Yes.
And you're distributing and selling this around. What has the last 2 years? I mean, you've been through an immense journey. The last 2 years. You've turned a corner.
Yes.
You've spun things around. You've learned. What would you say was your biggest learning from this?
Building teams first was the key focus. Bringing the right people who believe in the bigger scheme of things rather than not just looking at their day job. They believed in the mission. They believed in the narrative. They believed in the whole roadmap, and partnerships. People work with people. People invest in people, and people make money with people. So Rome wasn't built alone or by one man. It's built by people. So I started focusing on relationships. I would not waste my time with people I don't have commonality.
Yeah.
Where if the guy is too centered or focused on in just themselves, I would like to learn from you who you are. In return, I'll give you a share of my pie.
So you want a bit of a two-way street, right?
Yes.
So that's the way it should work, right?
It should be like that.
Yeah.
What are we even doing then?
There's a lot of oxygen stealers out there. You know that,
There are.
There is. Right, I'm going to play another track, and then we're going to talk about what's the next step I'm joined by Nish from Rutland Square Drinks, and we're talking gin, we're talking rum, we're talking journey. The last 2 years, you've been on a whistle-stop tour around the world,
Yes.
getting your products in places. Where is your product that you thought I'd never get it in there? Where's that product gone that you think, wow?
It's gone everywhere.
Yeah.
And every single place that we are in, it's a wow moment for us, because there was a point not so long ago when people on the street right next to my house weren't interested in me.
Wow, okay.
Right? And they would outright reject listing a gin because they buy from a distributor who buys from a distributor, and that distributor buys from a distributor. That's it's like a mafia
Yeah.
circle here. And to get to the master distributor is the toughest thing. And today we are in a position where we say no to listings because we're consistently out of stock. And sometimes I feel bad because their family and friends is like, it's been so long and we haven't got a bottle. I said, I don't have a bottle because literally there is no stock in the warehouse.
Yeah, it's not a bad position
Which is a good position to be in. It gives you context and greater scheme of things of how businesses can transpire, but also have challenges.
Yeah.
So yeah, we are in 690 outlets in LCBO, which was which I never imagined. It usually takes 5 years for a brand of our caliber to be in that place. It's a government-run organization. It covers the whole of Ontario region, and there's no other place people can buy alcohol from. They have to come to an LCBO, which is Liquor Control Board of Ontario. Getting into LCBO is a huge win. It's the biggest order we have ever done.
So in the UK, for example, where would you like to see your product that's not there already? Or are you working on something
For novelty?
What's a dream?
For novelty,
Yeah.
I would like to see my product on Harrods, purely for ego.
Yeah.
Because
it's a badge on the shoulder. It's
not even the badge. It's because the guy rejected me so many times.
Did he?
And I need to put it in. And sales don't happen in Harrods.
No, so it's the kudos, isn't it?
Correct.
It's the badge of honor.
Yes. So I would like to see it there. But we are slowly growing. We are in Master of Malls. We are in the Whiskey Exchange. We are in Atom Brands. We are in the key places where we should be.
Yeah.
On-trade is an ongoing journey, which takes times and a lot of capital. So we are slowly growing that, which is restaurants, bars, and hospitality venues. And there are a lot of listing fees that we have to go through. So we had a listing option from Hilton, but they wanted 16 grand per venue. So if you look at all those venues, that's a massive capex. So we decided, okay, that's not for us for now.
So even places like duty free, big footfall, big volume consumption,
huge capex,
but huge to get in.
Well, we are in 32 airports across the globe.
Okay, that's good.
We are now going live with Edinburgh, Glasgow, Aberdeen, and Heathrow probably by end of this year. Again, it's a capex versus opex thing.
Yeah.
Every airport has a listing fee.
Yeah.
Even if you look at countries like India, they have a $5,000 USD listing fee per SKU per shelf. So if you have 2 SKUs, that's 10 grand just to put your product on the shelf, and then you have to put a man on the ground to sell your product because consumers are just...
they just walk past it otherwise.
Yeah, so you need to tell them, and most airport purchases are impulse buying. People are walking past and they want to buy something as a gift. This is where we are excelling, because once people buy it and they like it, they come back and repeats are happening. So we have 5 times sold out from Mumbai airport, 4 times sold out from Delhi airport. Dubai airport, we were about to go live, and then the unfortunate war happened. Yeah. That has slowed things down, but we are in Qatar, Doha, Bahrain, Abu Dhabi. So Rutland Square Spirits is now almost everywhere. So the point of sales have been solidified.
Yeah.
Now we are going into the journey of growing it. So that's where things are now moving into.
Where did the name come from?
Oh, that's a...
I thought, where does that name come from?
So I wanted to create a bridge between East and West. It's an immigrant story. Okay. I don't belong to this land, but I made this land my home. But there's a fragment of my life which belongs to India, but I have outlived my life in India, in Scotland. So I belong to both places, but Scotland is home, and that's where I want to, end my journey. So Rutland Square is a place where the Indian embassy sits in Edinburgh.
Is that right?
It has been there forever. In order for me now, if I have to go back to India, I need a visa.
So you have to go back to Rutland Square.
I need to get a sticker on my passport, and Rutland Square becomes the gateway home. So I named the brand Rutland Square. The IP was there, and we could register it, and it stitched well with our story.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
So Rutland Square, chai, spice, Scottish gin and rum became the narrative. Chai, spice, because the land where I was born is the tea capital of India, and we are the only gin and rum in the world that is led by oolong white tea, which is one of the most expensive tea money can buy. And we grow our oolong in Assam in India. We sustainably bring our tea back, and then we mix it with 14 botanicals. And it's the only gin and rum in the world which is, it fits in the whole tea ecosystem. So you can drink it hot, you can drink it cold, you can make a hot toddy from our gin and a rum. It's lean, it doesn't have any artificial coloring, flavoring. It's 100% natural, done in small batches in Edinburgh with a small team. I don't own the manufacturing. Manufacturing is done third party, but it's done by a company which has been making gin in a smaller scale. It's a very family-run business. It's done in control. And it fits in our narrative, fits in the Scottish Indian narrative.
Is that important to you?
Very important to me. Right. Why am I creating this?
Yeah.
Even if when I become an economy of scale, I have to do things in a larger scale, but it needs to serve a purpose. Yeah. What is that purpose? It all goes back to purpose. How much money can I eat?
You can't. Well, you can only have one. Well, you can only eat so much, right?
You have so many cars.
Oh, yeah.
How many can you drive?
One at a time.
Exactly.
And that's the thing. And the thing is that, talking about cars, people say to me, oh, I said, I drive my cars, right? And what's the point in not driving them?
Exactly.
I says, well, I'm driving them. They're not going to bury them next to me when I go.
Exactly.
I need to use what I have while I'm able to, when my back still gives in. But no, it makes sense. So your journey and what you're doing, I'm going to play some ads. Then we're going to talk about what's next for Rutland and what you're going to do after that. Right, Nish, Rutland. Where you're at now, you've done gin, you've done rum, you're in various multiple retailers around the world, airports galore, big journey about going to different airports. What's next?
Rutland Square Spirits as a portfolio is evolving.
Okay.
We are adding very limited edition black chai spiced rum, limited in numbers. In place. That's hopefully launching somewhere around end of September, October.
Yeah.
Rutland Square whiskey is happening. So
you are going to go into the whiskey?
Yes.
Okay.
So that's a full circle moment for me. So whatever I have done so far is whiskey has been the goal.
It's always been in the back.
It has always been, that is the foundation of what I'm doing.
Okay.
And whiskey is the biggest market cap in the industry.
Is it not very competitive? Are you not going to go in there and be engulfed with everything all?
So market is very, actually fortunate to be a craft distiller at this stage. Okay. Because the market is evolving and the newer generation is not associating themselves with the legacy brands. So they are more aware about who the Diageos and the Pernots and the Camparis are and their portfolio.
So for people that don't know, they're the three monsters, they're giants, right? They're the big companies.
Yeah, they're like market cap of 300 billion.
And they own the brands?
They own everything.
They own everything, right, okay. So you're either part of that or you're the little independent craft manufacturer, maker, distributor, the whole lot.
Yeah, you're either going and staying at a Marriott hotel, which is part of the whole, or you go to a Rosewood, which is still big enough, but it gives you an experience, or you go to a Peninsula, which is, so people pick now. Yeah. People have options to pick, and people have stopped picking mass. They have seen their grandfathers drink Johnny Walker. They have seen their fathers drink Johnny Walker. At a point when don't have a job, they drink a Johnny Walker, and they evolve now. Yeah. So they go from Johnny Walker to Glenfiddich to Macallan to Bowmore to then they have enough money to experiment with collector's items and all the things they want to. Yeah. So we sit in the category where we offer them something exciting. So we are not competing with the big boys at all. They have their own league and category. We sit in our own category, and this is how we are surviving. Yeah, we are doing something different. So we are not competing against anyone.
So would you class yourself as a bit of a disruptor?
It's a very heavy word.
It is a heavy word, isn't it?
It is. I wouldn't. We are not in technology, so we are not disrupting anything. Yes, in the sector where people are producing the same alcohol as a base, as a category, doesn't change. You can only mimic flavoring, which without it's one of the most interesting industries where I work in. If it's a whiskey, you can't even add flavors, because by law it's a very controlled and regulated industry. It almost scientifically driven. Flavors are created through fermentation. It's driven through cask maturation. It's not that if I create a series of whiskeys with tea flavors, I've added tea to them. You can do that with gin and rum and all other categories. You can't do it with whiskey. Whiskey is sacred. And in order to be a whiskey distiller is God level stuff. You have done it. Now, literally, you're playing with the boys with the bee.
Yeah. Yes, I can imagine. I can imagine.
So it's a controlled market, which is controlled by large legacy brands and families, William Grant and Sons, and Macallan, generational, yes. And lot of people set up distilleries, but you need deep pocket and even deeper gut and strength, because you don't make money for first 5 years. So a greenfield project is shooting yourself on the foot.
Right.
People jump into it, but then they soon realize that investors need to see their return on investment, which doesn't happen for 5 to 7 years, and you shut down. Yeah. And this is where we come in.
Okay.
So we pick up on people's mistake and we turn it around. We make it agile, we cut cost, and we create more exciting products and plug it into the distribution that we have, which is growing and scaling, and we make some sense out of what we are doing.
Fantastic. Well, look, I wish you all the best for your next level of journeys. I'm sure you'll be back, and I'm sure we'll be talking more around the whiskey and everything you do. So if people want to know more about what you do, website, what's your website?
I've started to, very comically started to say, people Google me.
Oh, really? Okay, Google me.
Out of fun. So if you Google Nish Sharma, you get to know more about me and who I am and what I do. But on a serious note, Rutland Square Spirits is the website. So if you go to rutlandsquare.com, you will get to learn about our story, narrative, whiskey products. If you want to buy us, you can go to any shop on Whiskey Exchange platform. You can buy us online. You can buy us anywhere you want.
Fantastic. Listen, thank you very much for coming in. Hang around, because we're going to talk more. And when you look at the world today, how important is social media for you and your brand and your company?
Honest answer is I hate it.
I know you hate it, but how important is it?
It is important.
We all hate it. It's a necessary devil, isn't it? It's a necessary evil, should I say?
I think it's one of those measuring things that you're alive and you're seen. Yeah. That means you're doing things, and which means it goes back to the same thing. Even pre-social media, everybody wants to be part of the rising sun. They want to be part of the success story, not the failure or the failing story. So social media creates that validation, because I'm traveling regardless. I post it on social media so that people can see that I am that boy who was wiping tables, and today out of 365 days on 150 days on a plane. Sometimes on first class, sometimes on business, sometimes premium economy, sometimes, most of the times, economy.
Do you get hate on social media? Do you get any hate?
Sometimes, yes.
You do, yeah?
I do. Sometimes I get weird stuff because I just don't have access to my own social media. It's with the team.
Yeah.
So a lot of people have access to my social media.
Okay.
And sometimes I get funny things on social media, and I'm so glad there is a lady who manages my social media.
Fair enough.
And she creates that filter. So social media is a funny place, and I'm still trying to get my head around. I do enjoy the odd time when I'm doing nothing at night and I watch reels, which is funny as anything, and I share, and I have victims.
Doom scrolling.
And I have victims. I send my screen, my reels to you. Yeah. And every time they see me, I say, we hate it.
Yeah.
But I love it. Other than that, yes, it is very important to be visible these days. That doesn't transpire to sales. I want to put it out there.
Yeah, it doesn't, does it? But do you think it's that shop window, isn't it? It is that you're still there, living, breathing, your brand's still going, your company's still going. People
forget about you very quickly because their attention spans have shrunk so much. They just forget about things, even existing. I'm worried that people don't stop breathing, because this is how things are these days.
It's true.
And social media keeps that relevance alive, that, oh, you're still there. There's another article about you. Oh, you're still doing okay. You've not gone down. Because most of the time, people are waiting for you to fail. and they jump on your failure more than they jump on your success. So until that failure happens,
Yeah.
they don't even like or give you a heart thing that shows up on your Instagram, but they're there because they're watching you.
Yeah.
So I get a 600-700 views on my reels, but when I post something on my post, I get 58 likes, and they're random people I don't even know. So I don't know how to measure it.
Well, when you do, let me know, because I have no idea. But I think when you look at any brand, any business, I think it is important you are on social media, but
Yes.
people also forget where you should be for what type of content. People dismiss LinkedIn, okay? People, I don't know why. Lots of people just don't think about it. I think people have started to dismiss things like Facebook, which is important. I think it's important you're in the right places for the right reasons and not just putting out content for the sake of putting out content. And I think people need to know. I mean, when I looked at YouTube and looking at what things are out there, unless it's compelling enough or it's the right reason, it's pointless doing it.
I'm an absolute advocate of LinkedIn. I love LinkedIn.
Yeah.
I give my success to LinkedIn. I had no network. I have raised capital through LinkedIn, and I've raised a lot of money through LinkedIn. I have met billionaires through LinkedIn, like literally legitimate billionaires, not just billionaires on paper.
Not paper.
Not paper, real billionaires sitting on cash bag, right? And I had a very interesting meeting not so long ago. I went to India for a wedding, and I met this uncle, as everybody calls any older elderly guy, uncle in India. Yes, and this uncle, I spoke to him, and he's the spice king of India. He's sitting on a cash pile of 8 billion USD, cash, liquidity, not asset-rich, liquidity. He's creating a whole city in Mumbai, one of the most expensive real estate for his workers. And everybody on this planet has had his chaat masala, which is called Everest masala.
That's him.
I was with him in his office without knowing who he was. I was so excited that I was on the Forbes magazine in India without knowing that I'm on the Forbes magazine in India. My brand was talked about my Bollywood Actors Association, and I was invited because I met him in this wedding, loved what he did. He never mentioned his brand name, and he said, I do a lot of things and XYZ, and he likes to meet young, and he's almost 60-something years old, and he's hungry. He's like literally Blackstone is on his mandate.
Oh, wow, okay.
This is a serious player.
Yeah.
I'm at his office, sitting there with his sons and everything, and he's like, I want to hear, I have no idea about alcohol, but I'm seriously creating a fund. I want to diversify. I want to sit down with you to learn, not to invest, just to learn more about sectors, because I'm going in different directions. And when I learn about him and things he's doing, he literally purchased a Fateh Grand Chime. The team from Geneva was in office to deliver him the watch. He never went to the showroom.
Okay.
It happened. The transaction happened in front of me, and I took a picture while that was happening with his permission. And that was a different level of, I think, what money buys you is access.
Yeah.
And tool to do things. And that's what I learned there. So network is very important, comes back to the point what you made.
Yeah.
Hanging around with the right people so you can get access to information they have, which I don't have, and that is what puts me in the position I'm in, and they are in the position they are in. It's only access to information.
Knowledge is power.
Indeed.
It makes a big difference, doesn't it?
It does.